What's good, everyone? How are y'all doing today? Back with another live stream, and today I'm gonna be doing a little bit of mixing and mastering and applying the 80-20 rule, more or less. If you ever heard of that, about that, it's not like a music term, but it's just basically saying that like 20% of the work that you put into something yields 80% of the results. So in my case, honestly, it's probably going to be more like the 90-50 rule. I'm probably putting in like 50% of the effort in hopes that I could gain like 90% of the results that I would normally achieve. The reason why I'm doing this is because I don't need these mixes to be like super perfect. I'm gonna be submitting these for like TV and movies and stuff, and yeah, like those kind of beats that I do, I don't really put the full effort into mixing that I would normally do with my own projects. I take a little bit more pride in my own projects, and these are just for like making a little bit of money on the side so that I can reinvest back into my craft. So that's what I'm going to be doing today in a nutshell. Be going through different songs. I started this last night and the night before, so I'm almost done with this. And then after I do this, I'm going to have to name every song and also like put what genre, what subgenre, like the feel of the music, the different instruments in the music, if there's vocals, what the vocals are about, all that sort of stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing today. If that sounds interesting, then stick around. Even if you're not a music producer, you might listen to a couple new songs. I'm going to be going through hopefully a handful of songs, not just one or two, hopefully like 5. So that's the plan for today. Randy, you said perfect timing. The song I was listening to ended just as you started. That's awesome, man. I'm glad it worked out like that. So yeah, let's get started here. I'm going to drag this up here. I forgot to put this up before the live started. I've only done this sort of thing once on live before, but it was more, I think it was a little bit more involved because I spent a couple different sessions actually mixing and mastering a song for a friend. I've done this before, so if you're interested in seeing like a more in-depth guide to mixing, although today I'm going to show you some stuff today that will help you with your mixes, if that, like it's going to help you with mixing. And the first thing that I could say that is really important before you even start on mixing and mastering is definitely your sound choice. The reason why I'm able to do this so fast is because the sounds that I've chosen in most of these songs are already pretty good, so I don't have to do much to them to make them punch and to make the overall mix loud. When I make my EDM music, I feel like it's almost like a competition on who can make the loudest, master. And in this case, I'm just going for like a good master. It doesn't have to be louder than the next person's and all that. But so yeah, let's go ahead and open up the first song. I did these last night. Let's go. I did that one also. Let me listen to this. I don't think I did this one. What's crazy is that this computer is so fast that I'm opening up and working on these projects on an external hard drive, like a slow external hard drive, not a fast one, just like a regular USB external hard drive, and I'm not really running into any problems. And part of that is because the projects aren't really big, but it's just still kind of interesting that I can run a whole project off of an external hard drive and it's not giving me any problems. Let's see, I gotta find where this song is exactly. I believe I made it in 2020, and I think I did it in here. Yeah, it's right here. Okay, so I'm going to open up that project. And let's see exactly what I have in this project. I'm not sure. I have kind of a different setup today. I don't know if you've noticed there's more space above my head. And that's because I'm using a different tripod. I am experimenting with with a different tripod in the closet there for when my sister comes over and records vocals. That'll probably be next week. So I'm just trying to play with different tripods. It's kind of tricky to get a camera in that closet. You know, you kind of have to hang it on top of something. So yeah, I'm messing around with that and different options on how to get video in there. So let's see here. I might have already kind of mixed this one already. Let's take a listen to it here. And also another thing is I've got to make these songs at least 2 minutes, so that's gonna be something. Kingdom Squad, what's up, man? So if y'all don't know, I've got a song, a collab with Kingdom Squad coming out on Friday. I think I told some of y'all that, but yeah, that's coming out tomorrow actually. It's crazy how fast that came. I'm gonna put on my sub pack for this so I can really hear the sub frequencies. I'm not sure if this piano was supposed to be there. That would be a cool little breakdown though. Also, in addition to mixing and mastering today, like quick mixing and mastering, I'll be adding breakdowns as needed, extending songs out, sequencing them. That's another thing I have planned if I hear that it's necessary. I think I'm just gonna keep that first part. And let's mute that. And then I'm gonna put an EQ here, cut out all the lows. I just want to, it doesn't matter to me if it's thin sounding for this particular sound. It's not like a main sound, it just adds a little bit of flavor. And honestly, I think that was a mistake, but I like it. Put a little reverb on it. And then maybe some filter delay. Actually, let's see what Echo Boy sounds like. I like Echo Boy for adding a lot of ambience to the sound. I'm gonna do a high cut. So high cut is good for adding like depth to the sound without it being like a noticeable reverb. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted with that. And then I'm going to put a second delay on it, which is going to be more pronounced. And let's hear how that sounds in the mix. I don't know if I like the second delay. I think that's okay just as it is. And then maybe add just a little bit more reverb. And then turn it down some. Do y'all like that piano in there? Does that sound good to y'all? I don't think it was supposed to be there, but I thought it sounded kind of cool. I don't know if it's too busy or not though. Yeah, I think that's better when I turn it down like that. These keyboard sounds are crazy. They came off of my keyboard. the Triton over there, and then the synth here too. All these sounds came off of there. You said, Eric, you said you like the piano? Yeah, I like it too. But it's only gonna come in right at that beginning part. That, unfortunately, I forgot to change the latency on the live stream. So usually I tick this setting right here, low latency. I usually don't do ultra low latency because if I like somehow when if I need to record the live and I'm going to edit it, if I select ultra low latency, my lips are sometimes off from the sound in the video. If I do low latency, it's just like a little bit off, but it's not bad. So usually I tick that one because when I'm talking with y'all, I can see what y'all are saying a lot quicker. Now that y'all's response, I'm assuming y'all responded right away after I said that, but it took a while for it to show up. So if I'm a little bit delayed in responding to y'all, forgive me. I forgot to tick that low latency on there. Alright, so I'm gonna play this until the end right now, just so I could hear, and I'm gonna add different effects to see. So this is a little trick. This is a trick that tells me if my song is loud enough. Now I don't know if this will work for y'all, but it works for me because I push everything to almost zero. Like I push all the sounds to almost zero, and so when I put a compressor on the master right before my clipper is like my limiter, I'll tick these settings here just like I'm gonna use it, and then I'll see how much gain reduction. If the gain reduction is like already pretty intense, like down here without me even moving the threshold, then I know the sound is pretty loud. And also if I move the threshold down and it doesn't make the song louder, that's a pretty good indication that the beat is pretty loud. It's not like this is not like a exact science, but it gives me like a general visual representation to see if my song is in the ballpark. So that's what I'm gonna do right here. So typically when a song is loud enough, it'll look like this. It'll look more like that. So to me, I could probably turn this up a little bit more. Let me hear how it sounds when I turn the threshold down. Alright, so I think I can go a little bit louder. Now so if I was really following the 80-20 rule, I've put way more than 20% effort up until this point. So that's why at the beginning of the video I said I'm probably doing more of like a 90-50 rule, in that I'm putting 50% of the effort in to gain 90% of the results. Like as you get higher, it's like elite athletes. As you get higher, like you can, if you run a certain amount every day, your VO2 max will increase to about 80% of its capacity that it can increase. But if you put in like a lot more effort, then you can raise it up a little bit more, but as you raise it higher, it's like diminishing returns. So that's kind of like the same concept here, but I feel like I want to try to mix this a little bit better. So I'm not truly following 80-20 right here. It's more like 90-50, but let's try it and let's see what happens. Hope that made sense. So the one thing I'm gonna do, just because I know from experience, electric pianos and organs are kind of hard to mix. There's just a lot of different frequencies in there, and I always have trouble mixing those. So I might actually, I know I don't use a limiter much, but I might put a limiter on this piano here. And let's see this don't want the limiter to be working too hard, because then the sound will be like really squashed. Now let's see this one here. I could probably get away with not putting one on there because it doesn't have that mid-rich sound. I don't really need one on that. I'll put one here. And I like, when I use a limiter, I prefer to put it on the individual track, because limiting is really, it can really mess up your mix and make it sound soft. And I'm adjusting the ceiling individually for each one of these sounds. So if I were to just slap a limiter on the group, it wouldn't be doing as much good as putting it on the individual here. I might put one on here. Raise the ceiling up. And actually, let me increase my buffer size. I'm going to increase it to 256. I most likely won't be playing anything today on the keyboard, so I don't need it to be low. Let's see what this sound is. I'm going to put one on this. Alright, and then the next thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to route all of my instruments to a pre-master bus, and I'm going to allow I'm going to route the sub, the kick, and the snare straight to the master. So I'm just going to name this like pre-master. It's going to have an in, monitor in, and then every single one of my instruments, and actually my percussion also, my hi-hats and all that stuff, effects, everything, I'm going to route that to the pre-master. Kingdom, he said, crucial knowledge here. This is super helpful. Thank you for sharing. Yeah, man, thanks for watching. I guess it didn't really occur to me that this could be useful to people. I don't know why, but that's just what I had in my head until last night. I was like, because I was doing this for a couple days before I thought about live streaming it, and then I was thinking like maybe people would find this useful, but yeah, so I appreciate that. Yeah, I think everything's routed here. So the goal here is just to increase the volume a little bit. And actually I think I may take these effects. I may take this compressor off of the master. I may keep the glue. Let me see what the glue is doing. Alright, so this song doesn't need to hit super hard. It's like an R&B type vibe, R&B bass, that sort of genre. I think I'm going to keep the glue on there. I like the glue there. I'm going to keep the glue on there. Actually, I'll do this. I'm going to route... I'm just trying to preserve my... I think I started mixing this, but I want to preserve what I started and not completely undo it. So this one will be a little bit different than the other ones I'm going to do today. I'm going to route the sub, the kick, and the snare. I'm going to route those to this track right here. And then this one's going to the master. So I'm going to put the glue compressor on here. Alright, sometimes when you route things, like when you route everything to a track, like I'm doing here, sometimes it changes the mix slightly, but let's see how it sounds. I'm actually gonna put a K clip. I know there's one on the master, but I just don't like seeing yellow on tracks, so I'm gonna put a K clip on here and stop that from going to 0. Alright, so now I'm going to put a, what am I going to do for this track here? Let's see what a compressor sounds like. So the only thing, I love Ableton's compressor when I put it on RMS and makeup gain to give a little volume increase to a sound. But for me, it's kind of harsh on the sub and the kick for some reason. It just brings out some of those frequencies a little bit too much. So typically I don't like putting a compressor on those. I might do a little bit, and I find that the compressor helps glue the sounds together. So a lot of times I don't do this on my EDM stuff as much because I don't know why. Maybe I just never got in the habit of it, but I like putting a compressor on the master, just even if it's like a little bit of threshold like that, because I feel like it helps gel the mix together a little bit more. So I'm gonna show you the difference at the end, and y'all can tell me if you hear the difference or not. Okay, now let's process the pre-master here. I think I'm gonna send the hi-hat straight to the master. I don't want to increase the volume of that. I'll send the hi-hats to the master, and I'll send the FX group to the master. I just want instruments. Randy, you say when you say it glues or gels together, what do you mean? So I'm gonna try to let you hear the difference, because I can't explain it. I feel like it's like, to me, sometimes when you process things individually, it sounds like here's this and then here's this, and they kind of sound like they're not together. But when you put a compressor on the master, and just a little bit increase the threshold, you kind of hear them start coming together a little bit better. Now the only reason why I don't do that on every single mix is because sometimes when I do that, I feel like it unproportionately increases the kick and the sub volume, and sometimes I don't like the way that sounds. So you just have to be careful with that. I usually don't put anything on my master except for K-clip, and then like overall effects, like this EQ is like doing an effect in the song. But sometimes I will put a compressor on the master track and just increase the threshold by no more than -3 dB. Usually it's well under that. Usually it's around here, like 1.7. So but like I said, I'm gonna try to let you hear the difference on that rather than try to explain it. So I'm gonna put my little multi-split tool here. Let's turn this up, turn the compressor down, and then turn this drive down a little bit. So without it, and with it, and like I don't think I needed to increase the volume that much on this mix. I think it was already pretty loud, so I'm not going for super heavy changes right now, but you can hear the difference on this. So without it, it just sounds more vibrant. then on the master, sometimes I do this on the master actually. I'll throw in an EQ and I'll do a little mid-side processing. And then this will help increase some of the highs. So I didn't run the percussion or the effects through the pre-master. I ran it straight to the master, so this will help turn up the volume on that a little bit. And then I also, on the mid-side processing, I will cut out the lows. I usually not do I'll do like a less steep of a cut, and I'll go up to 150. So without it, with it, it's a subtle difference. Another thing I'm gonna try here is I was trying to see if my daughter was awake because she's supposed to be sleeping. I think she's sleeping. Another thing I'm gonna do is put wider in the mid section, and let's see how this sounds. Sometimes it doesn't sound good. Sometimes it only sounds good when you do a little bit. So let's see. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I like the way that wider sounds. It's really subtle, but it makes things sound a little bit more full. And yesterday, if I have time today, I did something really interesting yesterday. I made a beat on live stream, and then that night I added to that beat, and then the next day I was trying to save it, but I copied over the new one with the old one. And I lost all of that I worked on. So, but I had bounced out an MP3 of the file before. So what I did was I took that MP3 and I kind of mastered it, just mastering the 2-track, and then I added to it, extended it, added a little intro and stuff in an ending, and I just thought that was interesting how I didn't have the files. I just had the 2-track, but I made it sound pretty good though, just by automating the volume in the different parts of the song. But if I have time, I'll show y'all what I did there. Alright, so now let me go to the master track and add in this compressor here. So Randy, you were asking me when you say it glues or gels, what do you mean? So this is what I mean here. I'm gonna just play the song, and then you'll see when I'm turning it on and turning it off. And then I want you to tell me if you can hear the difference and see how it sounds. Honestly, I don't hear that much of a difference. I hear a little bit of a difference. And maybe that's just because the master is not as loud as I usually mix my songs. But I hear a little bit of a difference. But one thing that's bothering me is I hear some clipping in the pianos. And maybe I can turn up that compressor a little bit more on the master if I fix this clipping here. Yeah, it's I don't like the way that sounds. So You said I don't hear the difference, to be honest. I don't have great headphones, so I don't know. Well, I'll try to point it out again in another one. I don't hear that. I hear a little bit of a difference on this one, but not too much. Let me hear if I'm trying to get rid of that that clipping. So it might be the K clip that's doing that, or the Camel Crusher. Yeah, sometimes this makes things kind of crunchy. Let me see what it sounds like if I put Oxford Inflator on there. Alright, that sounds better. Yeah, Camel Crusher is great, but it's sometimes on real instruments or like vocals or something, it makes them kind of crunchy. I hear some distortion here. So here I'm gonna automate. I'm gonna automate an EQ, and I'm gonna take out some of those frequencies. And one trick you can use is to boost certain areas, and that way you can hear if that's where the problem is. I feel like it's clashing with the 808, so I'm gonna take out. Let's try taking out everything below 150, and then I might automate some more in here. And maybe the 808's just a little bit too loud. Let me check it. Oh yeah, it's a little bit too loud. So let's turn that down and see if that fixes the problem. I'm going to turn it down. Let's do 1 dB. So to -5.5. Maybe just a little bit more. So let me change this to like 150 so it doesn't interfere with the sub so much. And let's put an EQ on the master here on the 808, and let's cut some of that out. Let's not do a steep cut, but let's cut it off here at like 300. I still hear just a little bit of clipping, but I'm not going to get nitpicky on this. I think it sounds pretty good. Let me hear what it sounds like if I put a limiter on the sub. Sweeten up the high end on these percussion a little bit. And then maybe put just a touch of convolution reverb, like a really small one, and turn it down a lot. Without it, with it, it just adds a little bit of space. Still hear it clipping here. Let me turn the ceiling down on this compressor. And then maybe just turn it down here at like 150 a little bit. Actually, in general, let me just put a, on the pre-master. It's better to do it on the individual tracks, but since we're trying to go quick here, let me put a little bit of a, well, actually, let me just go ahead and do a low cut at 150, like that, and then I'm going to cut it a little bit more here. And then I'm going to put, usually like 250 and 350 are also problem spots. So I'm going to turn up the Q. And I'm going to just lower that a little bit, turning the Q way down. Now let me see if I could boost this compressor a little bit on the end. Oh, Lil Sharpie, Lil Sharpie, you said, why are you mixing with the backpack on, bro? Yeah, it's not good for your back, you're right. Unless you watch your posture. If you're sitting up straight, it's good, but sometimes you get in that, you know, in this kind of a posture. But yeah, it's, Randy's right, it's a sub pack. It helps you feel the bass frequencies, which I don't always have this on, just when I'm mixing, so that's what it is. And let me see, Randy, you said frequencies that the headphones, even good headphones, can't help. Yeah, Randy's right. Exactly what he said. So yeah, but anyway, thank you for tuning in and thank you for being here. So I'm going to try to turn up the compressor here on the master a little bit and see if I could get away with it not clipping. I'm going to put a slight decrease here, turn up the Q, make it thin, like that. Honestly, some of the reason for this, the 808 problems I'm having in like the mixing is the sound. I did a 808 in Serum and it might be bleeding in the release. See, the release is kind of high there. I do have it on mono though. Yeah, but it might be the sound. If I was to do this beat again, I would pick a different sound, but I'm not trying to do all that. I'm just trying to get the mix done. There's not going to be many people that are listening to this and are going to say, oh, I hear it like kind of clipping on this one part. Like I hear a little bit of distortion, you know, so that's not really my concern right now. Now I don't hear it here anymore. I hear it come in on this part. So I'm gonna make the limiter a little bit more intense on this part. Alright, that helped it when I decreased the ceiling, but I do hear that the sound is just a little bit quieter. Let's come in after the limiter, and let's just boost some of the high frequencies here. Alright, that made the problem come back, so I'm just gonna leave it how it is. And maybe decrease a little bit here at this area. Alright, that sounds better to me. So whenever you hear these echoes here, I'm gonna see if I could just throw a wider on there to make that part super wide. Let's do this. I'll automate this in. I like to automate wider in sometimes so it doesn't like hit you in the face all at once like something's way different. So let's just make sure that that is only on this little breakdown part. And then I'm gonna throw one on this echo track that I have. So I'm also on this second one here, I'm gonna automate that in also. Yeah, that's cool. That was a cool little mixing thing I did there. So whenever you're submitting stuff for TV or for movies and stuff, they prefer that you use something called a stinger at the end, and that's just like a definite ending, no like fade outs or anything. And you know, something that's not more than like 3 to 5 seconds. So I'm gonna add one right now, just like a distinct ending, I guess. And maybe I'll do like a pitch down effect. That would be pretty cool on that part. So let me put one on the pre-master. Let's put a little altar boy on the pre-master at the end here. And then I'm going to have it only come in after the snare, like that. Actually, yeah. And then, let's see, I'll go ahead and automate that in now. And then, so that doesn't sound good, but I'm going to add in the format also, and then also add in a second instance, and it's going to sound a lot better. That's just the way Little Altar Boy is. For some reason, when you only do one instance, it doesn't give you a good effect. Maybe because it's not really made for pitching down, it's made for like vocals. And then I'm going to put a second one. And I found that just copying and pasting the settings doesn't always sound good. So I'm going to actually automate that in manually again. And now let's do the format. Okay. Now let's see what that looks like. Just fix it up a little bit. And now I'm going to copy and paste that to the sub kick and snare pre-master. Let's hear how that sounds. That's weird. I don't know why it made it lag like that. Let me delete this. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know why I did that. But actually, let me put one on the master. Put a third instance on the master here. I'm going to have it only turn on this part. And then let's go ahead and automate that in again. That's so weird. I don't know why it's causing a delay in the sound. I don't know why it's doing that. That's cool. I might be able to bounce it out and then put it on the 2-track if I need to. But you hear how the sounds carry? I don't want that. So I'm going to put a utility tool on the pre-master here and turn down the volume. And then that's cool like it is, and I'm just gonna make it cut off at 90 there. Alright. And then now I need like a crash of some sort to end it. I think I have one down here that I use in the song. Maybe it's in the percussion section. And then I'll do a reverse. So that sounds kind of weak to me. I'm gonna add some more stuff. Maybe let's see what instruments we have here that we can use. I might be able to add like a little piano, electric piano or something. That sounds kind of cool like that. I'm gonna, because this is going to the pre-master, let's just put this on its own and make it go straight to the master so it's not affected by that pitch down. Maybe instead of it going down, I'll just cut it off. and then I'll put like a reverb on it to extend it. And then let me filter out some of those frequencies. And then I'm also going to put a convolution reverb on that. Yeah, that sounds okay. That's not bad. I might do like a little snare, a little bit of a snare sequence here. And maybe make that less like in your face. Turn it down a little bit. Yeah. Let's hear how it sounds. Let's see what it sounds like if I pitch it down an octave. Let's do both. I think it's okay. I'm not in love with it, but I mean it's an ending. Maybe let's try to add a echo boy on that too. Or not echo boy, sorry, little alter boy. I don't know if I'm gonna like this. Yeah, I don't like that. Maybe let's add, let's do a Valhalla Supermassive. Randy, you said, what if you add a final hit on the root note at the end? That's what I usually do. Let's see how that sounds. I want to make this a little faster. I'm gonna try that. Maybe I'll blend it in with this. Automate this in. Let's see what the root note would sound like mixed in there. Or maybe like that piano that I had. Let's see here. I'm gonna have to duplicate it and send it straight to the master. It's being affected by the pre-master. Maybe take out some of those notes. Honestly, I just don't like the sound of that piano. So let's go ahead and add this to, let's go ahead and duplicate that track and send it straight to the master. And let's see if this will work. I'm already spending a little bit too much time on this. So let's cut that short. Yeah, that kind of clashes. I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. Honestly, I don't even know what the root note is. I think it says B minor. I forgot what I did here. I guess the root note, it's probably gonna be this B. Yeah, it's probably gonna be that B note. Let's see if I can just add a quick note here from a simple Ableton instrument. Let's see, like, let's just see what that sounds like in a B. I kind of like that. Because that is the root note, but those keys are not the root note. So yeah, perfect. And just one more thing, I'm gonna add a crash, another crash. Let's go to my kit here. I like this crash. Yeah, that does help. It helps just solidify an ending. Shorten this up and turn it way down. And then I'm also gonna kind of dampen the sound with some reverb. Turn it down. Maybe I'll pitch it up. No, I don't like it pitched up. Yeah, that'll work. I mean, it's not the perfect ending, but it works. It's good enough for me. Oh, that would be, actually, that would be cool at the end. You hear how it's kind of like reversing in? I think it's this sound. So that would be cool if I did that same thing at the end. Let's see if that works. And then I'm gonna put it on a separate track so it doesn't so it's not affected by Little Altar Boy. You said, Randy, you said, can you play it through once? Of course, man. I'll play it through once. Let me just do this ending part here. Let's see. Turn this up. Let's see if this works. Maybe I'll extend it. Yeah, I like that. It's subtle. Alright, let me do one more thing. I'm going to put an EQ here just in case. Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah, I'll play it from start to finish now, Randy. Oh, I have Little Ultra Boy on. That's why I could hear that the keys were off, like off timing. I was trying to figure out why. Little Ultra Boy was turned on, and somehow it's messing with like the timing of the song, which is weird. It's never done that before. Let me just turn it on here at the end, and then I think it'll be fine. Alright, so I'll play it from the beginning again. So I added a wider, automated a wider here. Let's hear how it sounds. Yeah, I like the way that sounds. It's kind of like panning out. I like that. So yeah, that's a wrap on that one. I'm actually going to bounce this song out into MP3. And then there's one final thing I'm going to do before I submit it. And that is listen to it in my car. Because everything sounds cool right now, but if something is really sticking out, then I'm probably going to end up changing it. And yeah, that's like I always check it in my car before I submit the songs or upload it or whatever. So let me go ahead and bounce this out. And let's find the next song. I've got this one. I don't know if I'll do that one. Let's listen to this. Let me copy this folder or this file in here. I did these yesterday. So I think I found my next one. I'm trying to find one that needs a lot of work, and I think that this is like a reggae based one. I think this one's gonna need a lot of work. Let's open this up. I think I might have two different beats in this. Let's open up this one first. So yeah, let's save what we just did there. And I made these a couple years ago. I think it's been like 2 years. At the very least, a year. So long, it's been so long that it has missing files. So let me see, point to a folder. I know where my sounds are located, so it's not a big deal. Yeah, it's just been I've re-downloaded this Contact library or the Native Instruments library onto my computer since the last time I opened this project, so that's why it's missing. I think that should be it. There's a couple plugins missing. I don't think it's anything crucial though. So I don't even remember what this sounds like. Let's listen here. This is dancehall. Alright, let's open up the reggae project. I think I might work on that one instead. That beat's okay, it's not great, but I may end up submitting it. I don't think I want to spend that much time mixing that one though, because some of the sounds, like the sound choice wasn't great. It's gonna take me a little bit longer to mix that since the sound choice wasn't so good. Let's hear this reggae one. So it looks like I already mixed this. I didn't know I did, but yeah, it looks like I have already put some effort into mixing this. So it sounds pretty good too. So the inspiration for this song, it came from one of my favorite reggae songs of all time. And I think I may even have used the same exact chord progression as this song by Luton Faya called When Me Rise It. This is crazy. Let me show this to you here. I tell you about some plastic people just full of back and talk, yes. Them left the ghetto youth in the nickel and them tag a war. Oh well, so any day me rise it, yeah. Ghetto youth we not afraid to exercise it. Any day we rise it, yeah. So bossy slaves them and humble without softness. Any day we rise it, yeah. Get a youth, we not go afraid to exercise it. Any day we I tell you about some plastic. It. Any day we rise it. Any day we rise it. Yeah. Just do them to work go out there. Humble if it's on. No matter tell we say we can't. Them to work go out there. Humble if it's on. But right to burn. Oh yeah. But yeah, that's it there. I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to drag these chords into my little my chord progression kit. That way I can use these chords later. So I'm going to name it G minor, and then the name of the song. So let's go ahead and drag that here. And then I'm gonna also copy the bass progression, sub bass progression. My daughter's up. Alright, copy this over here. Yeah, this was a really cool sub bass progression. I'm gonna name this sub bass complex, and then name this sub bass simple. Yeah, then I can have those chords for later. That's just a really good chord progression. That was interesting. I did like a little off trumpet there. Yeah, that adds a little bit of groove to it. That guitar that I used there was really cool. Where was that from? That's from Serum? Oh. It's because I ran it through Guitar Rig. It sounds like an actual guitar. That's a cool sound. I'm gonna drag that into my sound design kit to use it for later. I'm gonna name it Synth Guitar. Yeah, that's a cool sound. I like that. And then let me name where it came from. Reggae. Where did this come from? This is a cool sound. Let me do a search on my sounds. I like that. Classic Crash. It probably came from my... Oh, it came from Splice, it looks like. Yeah, I like that. Alright, let's hear the ending. Yeah, that's cool. And let me do the compressor test on this. I mean, this song could be louder, but I'm not going to turn it up more. It has good dynamics. I'm not looking to crush it that hard. So, yeah, I'm just going to leave it how it is. It sounds good to me. I did the compressor test there, and it didn't distort when I turned the volume up like that. Usually, if it's already loud enough, it starts to distort when you slightly move it. But yeah, I'm just going to leave it how it is. I like it. I like the mix. I'm going to check it in the car and see if everything sounds good. If it sounds good, then it's good to go. Let me open up another one. Let me look at what this one is. Yeah, let's do that one. We'll do that song. I think the mix is almost there. Let's see here. Yeah, I like that reggae song. It's been a while since I made a reggae beat. I love reggae music. But yeah, that one was pretty good. I like that. Alright, let's hear this one. I'm gonna give my back a break from the sub pack. I'll have to put it on here in a second, but let's listen. Oh, it looks like I changed this. I kind of like the other version. Alright, so this one, it looks like it's gonna need some work. I'm gonna need to sequence it a little bit. I lowered the tempo and I was gonna try to make it into like a Brazilian funk song, but to me this is more like pop music, and I like this part here. Let me hear the original. Alright, so let's drag this, everything we're gonna do, let's do it over here. So that way, in case I need some of that stuff, I won't delete it. But let's go ahead and resequence this out. I turned the tempo back up. It was 10 BPM lower than it is now. Let's go ahead and mute that. And then I'm gonna kind of restructure it how I had it before. Well, it doesn't have to be like that, but let's see. I'm gonna take out that Brazil sample, because when you submit stuff, you can't have any samples. So yeah, that's cool. And then let's see what part is going to go after that. So actually, instead of looping that intro twice, I'm going to cut out the middle, or the second half, and I'm going to paste that one part in there. And then the beat's gonna come in. And then I'm gonna play that twice. And then we need another part. Let's see what all I have here. Let's see what I got over here. So on this part, let's put like a little filter. Filter out some of those high frequencies. And then duplicate that. And then let's bring in like a different kind of a beat that we have here. Yeah, I like that one. That one sounds good. I need some sort of a transition on this part. Maybe just cutting out that bass. Maybe like a auto filter would be kind of cool in this part. So just turn this on, like on this last little bit, and then watch. Maybe I'll turn it on here. And then maybe a little alter boy would be cool, like a little pitch down effect. Let's try that out. Now let's do the format. Let's do another one. So there's a little jump here, that's why it's not sounding right. Let's do that. Alright, let's hear it in context. Maybe just like a little bit of some kind of a crash on that part to have like a distinct change in the beat would be helpful, I think. So like. Yeah, that could be interesting to add that in. Cool. Randy, you said when you submit songs for TV, how do you get paid? Yeah, so sometimes you don't even get paid. Sometimes it's just really, you never know when you're gonna get paid. You never know how much you're gonna get paid. It's just all, I don't know who it's up to. It's just how it is. Like I've had a lot of placements where I don't get paid. Um, but but yeah, it's you get paid through your you get paid through like ASCAP or BMI. I'm with ASCAP, so I get paid through them, and I also get paid through the company that submits the songs for me, that has like the connections with those companies. So you get paid a couple different ways. Yeah, and then it's gonna go back into the beat. I like that. And then I'm just gonna loop it. Hey, Raw Art, what's up, man? Randy, you said, how do they get rights to use your work without getting paid? So it's probably just like, it's, so I sign over my rights to my music, to the company that has the connections with these, like with the companies that do movies and TV shows. Because I personally don't know anybody in the industry. The best way to do it, ideally, would be for me to make my own connections with people, to get out there and to see who's running the TV show, see who's running movies and stuff, and to actually meet them. But it's just not, like, I don't know, it's just not happening right now in my life. And to be honest, I don't know if I want to make the effort right now, because it takes a lot of effort to get out there and network. And the lady the company I'm with, she has all the connections already. I pay her a little bit, and I really don't put much effort into doing this. Like, I've been doing this a lot lately now, but the last time I did this was 10 years ago, and I've gotten paid quite a bit from just taking the time to do this like 10 years ago. So now I'm doing a whole nother batch. Hopefully it'll last me another 10 years of getting paid, just to reinvest back into my music. And yeah, so they probably get the rights because she agrees to let them use it. Maybe she's doing them a favor that can come back around later, and they'll help her out with something if she helps them out. Or maybe she just sees that it's better to get some kind of a placement, whether or not they pay you. Maybe she just sees it as like beneficial for her business to get her name in the credits rather than just not getting it. And usually the things that don't pay are usually like the TV shows. Usually the movies will pay you for the most part. From what I understand, the movies will pay you almost every time. But it's like the TV shows, because they have so many beats in the background and so many people to choose from, that they can they can just not pay, I guess. I don't know. And Randy said, I agree with you. Paying someone else to maintain those connections seems worth it. Yeah, I think it is worth it. The only time, like, I think it's worth it to pay her to have these connections and to submit for me, because ultimately my ultimate goal is not to be in the TV or movie business. Like, that's not the purpose why I create music. But it's a bonus, that I can get better at making music, make some of these beats. That way it'll help me in the long run of like just getting better at making music in general, and then not having these beats go to waste. So I'll just send them to her, and then hopefully I can get paid off it, So that's kind of my idea behind it. David G, you said, with Exhale, that's one banger I'm hooked to. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. David, you said, do you have any live streams of you producing releases like your song Haze? No, I don't, man. And that's because when I made that song, we made that song, well, it's been out for almost a year, and then I think we actually started. So I'll tell you, since you love that song, I'll tell you a story about that song. So Raw Art. Let me answer Raw Art's question real quick. You said, "What's your ultimate goal with music?" So my ultimate goal is to be able to share with people how Jesus changed my life. That's basically my goal with music. Now, under that umbrella, I have other goals. Like, I want to make a living. Like, right now, I think it would be great to make a living getting paid to be on YouTube and just like make music every day to live stream. Well, not every day, maybe like 3 or 4 times a week to live stream. And then to just upload videos whenever I want to. Like, that would be an awesome living. So that's my goal. But my ultimate goal is to glorify God through music. And let me tell you a story, David G, about that song Haze. So we started making Haze in 2019, May 2019. That's when I came across like the New Age to Jesus testimonies on YouTube. So that was like in my mind, and so we wrote it here in this room here, and I had a beat that we wrote to, but almost a year later we went to this music conference together. Me, Exhale, and my boy Jacob. We went together to this music conference, and the day before I left, I was like, let me just try to remix what I've made so far, and so I remixed it into what it became now, and then we just recorded some more vocals, like a second verse, like a little breakdown and an outro. We finished that up. So that's how we made it. But the interesting thing is that the night after we wrote that song, I had like a horrible case of food poisoning, which was crazy because I didn't eat anything different. Like, I eat pretty much the same thing every single day. Now I believe that was Satan, like, just attacking me because we wrote that song to expose him. Now I don't know if that's right. I don't know if that's wrong, but like, some people would say that that's not true or whatever. But I mean, I believe it was true because, look, I count my calories every single day. I track everything I eat. I'm really fitness goal oriented with my health. I have really specific goals, so I track everything I eat, like down to the weight. I weigh my food, and before I eat anything, I make sure it fits in my day's calories. So I eat pretty much the same thing every day, and I did not eat anything crazy that day. I didn't go out to eat. There was just no way I could have gotten food poisoning, because the food that I was eating the previous days was the same thing that I ate the day I got sick. So I mean, that's my only explanation for it. So I just thought that was crazy that we made a song to expose Satan on the lies of the New Age, and then I get a horrible case of food poisoning the next day. Like, my stomach wasn't right for a week after that. Like, it really messed me up. But yeah, I mean, since you like that song, I just thought I'd tell that story. I don't tell that story very often, but yeah, so that's that. If you would like to see what that song sounded like before it became what it is, I'll show you. Let me see here. Yeah, and I've been wanting to. I would have loved to do another song with Exhale. She has an amazing voice, but the only thing is, like, COVID happened, and we're not really having people over at our house because we're just being careful. My wife's pregnant, and she works in a nursing home, so we're just not having, like, friends over. But I would love to do another song with her because this song came out good. Let's see here. I think some of these sounds might be missing, but maybe I could play for you, like, the MP3. David, you said that's a crazy awesome story. What a confirmation sign that you're doing good. Thanks for sharing. Of course, man. So this was the original version of Haze, and then I remixed it, remixed my own beat into something else. I was going for like an indie feel. So yeah, and then it turned into what it is today, like this one. Oh, oh, okay, David, you said you're not sure it's coming through the stream at all. Yeah, so maybe I don't have my settings right, but let me drag it into Ableton. It'll play if I've got it through Ableton. Here it is here. Thanks for telling me though. So this was the original version here of Haze. And then, if y'all aren't familiar with the song Haze that me and Excel made, this is what it ended up sounding like later. I'll show you the main section here. So wild flames spark truth untold. So yeah, that's the difference there. Yeah, it is a really big difference. I felt like it was lacking energy, but it still had that main idea behind it. With that little flute in the background. I was actually trying to copy the song MGMT Electric Feel. Do you know that song? Do y'all, if you're watching this right now, do y'all know the song Electric Feel by MGMT? I was trying to copy that lead that they had in there. It's like one of my favorite songs of all time. But I was trying to copy that lead, and I was probably unsuccessful, but it came out sounding cool. And this song is actually in 3/4 time, which is interesting. So yeah, I was trying to copy that flute, and it ended up sounding like this. I mean, it's more laid back, but... Well, let's see this. Yeah, so I don't know if it sounds similar at all, but that was definitely my intent when I was when I originally created that beat. Yeah, so that's where it came from, was that right there. Which, I mean, I still think that I think theirs sounds better than mine does. But I mean, some people might say otherwise, because you always think like your inspirations sound better. Like, for example, Skrillex, when he created Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, he was trying to create a Noisia sound, if you know who Noisia is. And he said he failed. He said he tried to create it and he failed, but it came out sounding like Scary Monsters and Nice Sprites, which is like probably one of the greatest songs of all time, in my opinion, and also in the opinion of many other people in the EDM community. So, Raw Art, you said, when are you going to release the song again? Which song are you talking about? Are you talking about a new song, or what? because I'm releasing a new song this Friday with my friend Kingdom Squad. It's a collab with him, so I'm releasing new music on Friday. But are you talking about that song that I just showed? Because that song has been out for a while now. So today I'm just working on sequencing old beats and mixing and mastering and stuff like that. If you're just now tuning in, that's what I'm doing today. So I'm just extending this beat out here. These are all beats I'm gonna submit to TV and movies and stuff. And yeah, that's what I'm doing today. Raw Art, you said, oh, I guess I missed that one. Oh, okay, yeah, that song that I was just talking about right here. So if you go to my website, it'll be that first one on there. Yeah, you need to check that one out. That's probably one of my favorite songs that I've released. Yeah, I've had it. Yeah, it's been out for a while now, as David G said. Yeah, I mean, lately I've been wanting to get more into doing songs with vocals. I feel like people resonate with songs that have vocals in it a lot more than just beats. I'm just at that stage in my life where I really don't like. I'll still make EDM. I still love. Well, I can't say I love EDM as much anymore because of the direction it's going in, but I feel like I want to start making songs like with vocals in it, just because I feel like it's more effective in reaching people. So yeah, so that's where I'm at. I want to keep doing that sort of stuff. So that one is probably one of my favorite songs, and I love indie music. Some people don't think it sounds like indie. They say it sounds more like almost synthwave a little bit, but kind of electronic. Kingdom Squad, you said it's like reducing the separation. I'm not sure exactly what you meant by that, but I'd like to hear what you meant. Well, I was gonna say something else about it. Oh yeah, this is what I was gonna say about EDM music. So the artists that are big in EDM, they aren't really that popular. Not that it's a popularity contest for me, but like I'm trying to make a living off this, and the artists who are big in EDM, like I don't know, just any artist that's big, they really don't make that much money compared to how famous they are in that community, if that makes sense. David, you said, I hear it. I've been doing some music writing myself, and some of my produced music just feels it needs a message. Yeah, man. It's just not like, I just don't feel like songs without vocals are as effective as songs with vocals. Yeah. I mean, that's really all that needs to be said on that topic. That some people might disagree, but that's just how I feel. Raw Art, you said you ever thought about doing just a mixed live music session? Are you talking about like DJing live? Like some people are doing like just like doing like a DJ set like on live stream? Is that what you mean? Alright, I feel like I need like some kind of something to transition this part. I thought about it, but in all honesty, I just feel I need to find the right way to do it. I feel like it's really silly when people are just like spazzing out in their bedroom by themselves. um, yeah, so I would have to think of. I kind of like how I've seen a girl do it on YouTube where she has like a really cool atmosphere that she's sitting in. She's like sitting on a porch, with like it's like a cool vibe around, like it's almost like a forest. Like it would for me, it would have to be something like that. I just don't see myself getting hyped up and wild like all here like here by myself, you know? So that like yeah, I mean, would that be something that you would want to see? Like would you want to see a live set? Would you like to see me perform a live set? If so, like maybe I'll try to think about how I can do it in a way that makes sense with where I am in life. I I don't really see myself going back to like EDM performances like I used to. Um, I just feel like I'm just in a different space right now. Yeah, like EDM doesn't really. I don't really register with EDM like I used to. Some of it, I think the space has changed, the community has changed, in that they like. I'm stumbling for words here. I'm trying to figure out how I'm trying to tell y'all, but um, I just feel like they're not as creative as they used to be. The music coming from EDM, like I'm saying EDM, like electronic music in general as a whole, is not as inspiring as it used to be. It's just like a contest to see who can get on the biggest channel and who can get their moment of fame, like for somebody else to upload their song, so that they can look like that they're doing something big. Like that's just that's what I feel like the the community has become. Now I know that's not everybody, but in general, it's like a sound design pissing contest basically, and that's just not what I'm about. Like I want to make songs that are meaningful, and I feel like the best way for me to reach the biggest amount of people is to make songs that have meanings to them. Most people do not listen to EDM, and yeah, so I feel like the way for me to make money doing what I feel like could be the biggest impact on people is to not do that genre. But if I want to create that genre, I'm not gonna keep myself from creating it. So I'm just gonna create whatever I want to, basically, you know. So Kingdom Squad, you said I love Bryson's mixes. They're always nice, airy, and crisp. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. That's the David G. You said that's the description I couldn't put into words. Are you talking about just for clarification? Are you talking about like the mixes on my own songs, or are you talking about like New Heaven Volume 1, Volume 2? I think you're talking about like the songs I released, but when you say mix, I didn't know if you meant like DJ mixes, since we were talking about that. And Raw Art, you said I used to be in that scene. Raw Art, are you in EDM, or are you a producer, or what? Or you used to be a producer? Pepito Hijo, you said I don't know how I get here, but this guy explains so good. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. I appreciate you being here, Papito. David G, you said mixes on your own songs. Well, thank you, man. My mixes are definitely, I guess with any producer, like my mixing and mastering, that has been the biggest frustration that I've ever experienced in music, is just trying to learn how to mix, because you hear other people's songs and you get frustrated why you can't get yours to sound like theirs. Now, I still don't feel like I am where I want to be at with my mixes, but I feel like I've significantly improved, and the reason why I know I've improved is because people have paid me to mix and master their songs, and they've been really pleased with the results. So to me, that's an indication that, you know, I'm doing a pretty good job, even though I feel like there's a lot of room to improve. And Art, you said no. I used to go to EDC events. Okay, so you mean you used to be in that EDM scene? I got you. I got what you mean by that. Huncho Jack, what's up, man? How's it going? We are doing mixing and mastering today, and you know, adding stuff to beats because I'm gonna submit these to television and movies and stuff. But yeah, so that's what we're doing today. But I just stopped for a little bit, and I've been chatting with y'all, just having some conversations and stuff. But yeah, going back to what I was saying about mixing and mastering, that is like a huge frustration, huge frustration. It's so hard to learn because you have to have the right environment that you're listening in. You have to know just so many different things about sound design and mixing and all that. So that I'm glad I've, you know, gotten to where I am today. But it hasn't been without a lot of ups and downs, a lot of frustration, and just feeling like hopeless at times. That like you I've felt hopeless at times. Not that I never wanted to quit, but I always wondered if I would ever get good at mixing, if I would ever get my songs to sound right. And yeah, so it's tough. Being a producer is tough. Like, there's times where you think your music is great, and there's times where you think it sucks, and sometimes you don't even know what to do about it. But one thing I can say that has helped me, in case anybody out there is in the position in what I described, I joined a group on Facebook called Heavyweight Bass Producer Group. I think it's called Heavyweight Bass Forum or Heavyweight Bass Producer Group, something like that. There's a lot of top level guys in there, mixing and mastering engineers. And when I would have a question that I felt like, you know, it was framed in a way that made sense and I could ask it, I posted it on there, and I learned a lot from what people told me, and also just looking at what other people were posting and reading through some of the suggestions that were being given. That tremendously helped me. That was like a turning point in my mixing learning, I guess. So yeah, but let's get back to it here. If y'all have other questions, I'll be happy to answer them, but I'm going to try to work on the song a little bit here. Right now I'm just sequencing it, and I'm extending it a little bit, and then I'm going to try to mix it some too. David G, you said it's a constant battle. I think being a studio producer is much more difficult than being a live engineer like I am, but it's so worth it when your product is good. Yeah, it takes a lot. It takes really long to perfect your craft. You know, I've been creating music since 2005. Back then, there was not YouTube or anything, but when I was in college, YouTube came about. There wasn't tutorials at that time, but yeah, now you can learn music production so much faster and easier than you could when I was coming up. So yeah, so you can learn things a lot quicker. But I've been doing this a long time, and I still don't feel like I've arrived yet. So I've been doing this for 15 years. Yeah, I've been creating music for 15 years, but also you have to keep in mind that I went to school after high school. So I graduated 2006. I went to school from 2006 until 2014. So that whole time I was still producing when I had time, but I was also studying, so I didn't have as much time to, you know, dedicate to music production. This last year, the last 2 years of my life, I've been producing a lot. So I've been getting really good these last couple of years. It's all about how much time you spend producing. Like, that is the biggest factor of whether or not you would be successful, is the amount of time that you put into it. You know, given that you have some kind of, I guess, some kind of natural talent inside of you. You can't just not know music at all and you know, and think that if you put in all these hours that you're going to be good. But if you have some kind of musical talent, which if you're producing in any capacity, you have some kind of natural talent inside of you, or else you wouldn't be pursuing that. So if you have some kind of natural talent and you put in the hours, you will become good. You know, there's the 10,000 hour rule that they say about. Huncho Jack, you said, do you think you got those 10 hours, those 10,000 hours? So I don't know. I was thinking about that a couple months ago. I was thinking back, how long would it take? Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I'd have to calculate it because the first probably, let's say up until 2015, I would work on music pretty heavy during my Christmas breaks, and you know, summertime I would kind of, because, so this was weird, during the summertime of my schooling, because I would have so much time, I wouldn't feel like making music, but also at the same time, I gotta say this, at the same time, when I was in college and I had all that time in the summer to make music, and I actually didn't, you know, some of that is because I was not a believer at that time. You know, some people may disagree with me, but I was not a Christian at that time. And I feel like now is different than then, in that I'm more inspired now to make music than I was then. And I think some of that inspiration comes from God, you know, just being at peace inside of myself and having joy in my life instead of, you know, whenever you're not a believer, you don't have the same peace and joy that you have when you have Jesus in your life. So I think the inspiration I have now comes from that. Whereas back then I was relying on life circumstances to inspire me. And so, you know, when I was, yeah, I don't know, I guess I wasn't as disciplined back then. And now I feel like I am more disciplined and have a constant source of inspiration, instead of a fleeting source of inspiration. So, but yeah, all that to say, back when I was in college, I had the summer times to create music, but I chose to do other things because I didn't really feel inspired to create music because I had too much time on my hands. So, to answer your question, Huncho Jack, I don't know if I've gotten those 10,000 hours yet because I'd have to calculate it, but I probably only produced, let's just say, I'd have to do the math. I'm not going to do it right now, but let's say I produced 3 hours 2 or 3 times a week, which, yeah, I think that's a fair statement. From 2000, and maybe not exactly, it wasn't on a schedule like that. Like when I met my wife in high school, Huncho, you said back then you didn't believe in God, or just not that much. So let me get to that point. I'll go ahead and answer it now. I grew up in a Christian home, but I did not have a relationship with God. So that is 2 totally different things. Like, just because your parents believe something and you grew up around it does not mean that you actually have a relationship with God. Like, I think the key sign that you have a relationship with God is that you want to spend time with Him. It's like if you have a girlfriend and you don't ever spend time with her in some capacity, whether you're FaceTiming her or going out to eat or, you know, hanging out or whatever, like, is that really a relationship if you don't want to spend time? I mean, not that if you don't want to, but if you don't spend time with her, if you don't have a desire to spend time with her, then that's not really a relationship. The same thing with God. You know, if you don't have a desire to spend time with Him, to pray, read your Bible, whatever it is, sing songs of worship, listen to worship music. Like, if you don't have any of those desires, then you don't really have a relationship with him. And that was me. Like, I believed in Jesus, like I believed in Abraham Lincoln. Like, I knew some facts about him, I knew some history about him, but I didn't have a relationship with him. So Huncho Jack, to answer your question, I believed in God. I even believed that Jesus died for my sins. And actually, I'm saying a lot of the same stuff that I shared in my testimony. If you want to watch it, it's on my YouTube channel. It's called, I don't know what it's called. Just type it in Bryson Price testimony. You'll see it. But yeah, so I forgot what I was saying. I believed in him. Like, I knew some facts about him. Oh, what I was going to say is I believed everything in the Bible. I believed that it was true. But it was like a religious belief, not like a belief of faith, you know? And that's the best way I know how to explain it. That, like, I could even tell you that you have to believe in Jesus for your sins to be forgiven, because that's what I was taught in the church. But, like, I didn't have a desire to spend time with God. I just knew, like, facts about him. So I hope that answers your question. But that's kind of my story. So now I'm just going to loop it. It's about 1.5 minutes long. I'm just going to loop that and then start mixing it a little bit. I'll show y'all the process of mixing the song. So what I said at the beginning of the stream was that I'm applying the 80-20 rule, in that you put in 20% of the work. It's the 80-20 rule is that you put in 80% of the work, or sorry, 20% of the work to get 80% of the results. So I'm trying to mix this really quick. I'm not trying to spend too much time mixing it, but I'm just trying to get a good solid mix, because I'm not going to release this song on my own. It's just going to be used in like TV and stuff like that. So, but what I said was, more realistically, is probably like the 90-50 rule. I'm putting in 50% of the work to get 90% of the results. So that's kind of like my goal here. So let me go ahead and start mixing this a little bit. So I'm going to route the sub, the kick, and the snare to a pre-master. So go ahead and route these to the... Actually, I'm going to name this sub, kick, and snare. And then I'm going to make a second track, and I'm going to name it pre-master. So all of these other sounds that I have here, except for maybe the percussion. I'll leave the percussion out of it. All that's gonna, so all my instruments are gonna go to the pre-master. And I'm gonna put a K clip on this group here, just so it doesn't go above 0. I use a clipper like I would use, like somebody, like most people use masters. That's how I use, or limiters. I use a K clipper. You said, Hunter Jack, you said, I love that clap transition in the bass. This one right here? Is that what you mean? Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like that. Alright, so on this right here, I'm gonna put in my little multi-splitter tool. It splits the highs, the mids, and the lows. Oh, where there's a ton of claps. Is it this one right here? Yeah, it's almost like that. That's what you would hear like in an EDM song, but I put it in like a beat. Alright, so another thing I'm going to do here is put wider. I'm going to put that on the mid group. I don't want to overdo it. Sometimes it makes the mix sound weird if you overdo stereo expansion like that. It definitely makes a difference though. Like listen here, I'm going to turn it off and then turn it back on. Now listen. I'm actually going to do a percussion group because this song has a lot of percussion in it. So let's do a percussion track here. Percussion pre-master. And then I'm going to send all of these, I'm going to send it there. That little pitch down that I did there, I don't know why it sounded like that. Oh, there it is. I need to turn up those snares a little bit. It's kind of quiet in the mix. Let me find out where they are. I think it's here. So I'll put a multi-splitter tool in there. Well, first, let me put an EQ. I'm going to cut out any of the sub-frequencies on it. And then I'm going to put in... Now that, to be honest, that's not a great sample to start with. But I like it. It sounds kind of old school. So I'm going to go with it. But, you know, if we're being picky, it's not a great sample to start with. Usually you want to pick good samples to start with to make your mixing a little bit easier. And then I'm going to put wider on this. And then I'm going to also put another EQ at the end. Boost some of those top frequencies. Now let's see how it sounds. Now it's like almost too loud. Let's turn down the Camel Crusher a little bit. I'm just going to turn it down here. Now these need to be turned up a little bit. Let me put an EQ at the end here. This is like a pop EDM slash Brazilian funk fusion. That's what it's kind of a weird beat, I guess. Huncho, you said Camel Space is also very good. Don't know if it's free though. Yeah, so Camel Space is not free, but I have used it before, and it is a very good plugin. I'm gonna put wider on this sound. Let's see how it sounds. Yeah, that fills out the stereo spectrum a little bit. I might increase the width of this. Actually, instead of doing that, this is kind of like a little detail that I would do in my own songs, but I got the idea, so I'm going to go ahead and roll with it. Is doing a little bit of panning automation. So I'm going to change the width on here to 11 left and 11 right. And then let's just have this go back and forth like this. And then that gives it a little bit of movement. I might do it less. Let me change it to 9 left and 9 right. Maybe even less than that. Let's do 7 left, 7 right. Alright, so the next section I'm going to work on is this little part here where the bass comes in. I think I'm going to have to EQ that main synth and also like the sub bass, how they're working together. Huncho, you said Pancake is a free plugin. It's good for making the volume go left and right. Yeah, I might have to check that out because I don't like Ableton's auto pan. But I like using that little tool, and Huncho Jack, I forget what program you use. I don't know if, I forget if you're in FL or if you're in Ableton. But the reason why I like my method here is because, like, let's say I wanted to change this and get super intense with the left and the right, I wouldn't have to redraw this automation. So look, so that's going like super heavy left and right, but then I could, you know, tone it back like this. So it's just subtle, but I can always change that. That makes it really, really useful. But as far as like auto pan, if you just need something panning left and right without like specifically going left or right, yes, then that. So if you don't need something to be like specific like it is here, then you can use auto pan. And Randy, I just saw your comment pop up, but I feel like since it's delayed, I was just talking about that. But yeah, let me know if you didn't hear what I said. I just feel like the quality of AutoPan, it like turns the volume down for some reason. I don't know, I can't explain it. I don't like the way it sounds after I put it on there. But sometimes I do. If I am fine with like something being in the background, then I will go ahead and like just use it. But yeah, I don't like AutoPan. I don't like the way it sounds after you put it on a track. I'm going to EQ this. And let's see here. Alright, let's come here and take out the low end. Let's take out the low end here also. I don't think I did that yet. Sounds a little bit thin now. Let's go to 100. And I'm actually gonna automate this to kick in whenever the sub hits. This little, I'm gonna automate this action right here. So it'll be like, I think there's an 808 here also. So let's do that. Yeah, that'll make it mix a little bit better. Make the 808 and the synth mix a little bit better. Let's hear him solo. Now I'd have to hear that in the car to really see how it feels. This first one, let's make it a little bit more intense. Alright, let's hear it all together. Alright, I'm going to put a compressor on the master. Just a little bit of compression here with the makeup gain and RMS on. I'm going to put my sub pack on for this again. I need to hear this bass. I could probably turn the sub bass up a little bit. So, Randy, tell me if you're still in here, Randy, tell me if you hear the difference on this now. So, it is a lot louder, but I just feel like it gels a little bit better. I feel like I can really hear it on that part. So off, on. Huncho, you said, are you more comfortable mixing on monitors or in headphones? So I'm actually a lot more comfortable mixing in headphones, with the exception that I take it to my car after I'm done mixing and I listen to it there too, on speakers out loud. So sometimes there's little things I can't hear in my headphones, maybe certain frequencies that my headphones kind of mask that the car exposes, and vice versa. So I like mixing on headphones. This helps. Sub pack helps me feel the bass, and then in my car it's like a real world situation that helps me further refine the mix, and that's how I do my mixes. So Randy, when you listened to that, did you hear the difference? Yeah, so definitely explore that. I feel like it makes the most impact when the song is like 90-95% there, and then you just throw that compressor on the master, and it makes that little bit of a difference. Like you see, I'm not turning down that threshold very much, so it's just a little bit, and I can maybe back it off just a little bit, and it'd be better. There's one sound that I feel like is too loud. It's that sound, and I'm actually gonna throw a limiter. Let's throw a limiter on the end there. And then I'm gonna turn it down. Huncho, did you say the backpack makes you feel the sub frequencies? Yeah, so that's the purpose of this. It's called a sub pack. It helps. It's like, I don't think this is supposed to be used this way. This is supposed to go in your chair. My chair doesn't have a back, and the backpack was thrown into the deal to like help transport this, to carry it whenever you need to. But yeah, I use it. I just put it on my back like a backpack, and this part right here is where the like the sub is. So, Randy, what release on the compressor is that? So, I do. Most of the time I use a compressor, I use a longer attack. Not really long. I guess a medium attack. From about 20 to 30 milliseconds, and then the release, I let the computer, I just always click auto. That's something I learned from a guy named Klaus Hill. He's a top level mastering engineer in that Facebook group that I was talking about. He says to always use the release on auto if it's available, so that's what I do. Yeah, man, this is key right here. If you could save up money and buy one, that would be a really good investment. And I'm sure that the ones coming out now are better than this one. This one's probably about 2 years old now. So let's go ahead and copy these automations over here, the panning automations. Yeah, this is a pretty loud mix for this style of song, and I think some of it is because I don't have too much sub bass in it. The more sub bass you put, the least amount of volume you're gonna achieve in the end, because the sub really eats up a lot of that headroom. But it's like kind of like, to me, it's like a pop beat. It's not EDM and it's not hip hop, so it doesn't need to be super sub heavy. It's more of like the groove, you know. The groove is important, so I don't want to turn the bass up too loud. The bass is not a huge part of the song to me. It's like the other parts around it. So I'm gonna leave the bass where it's at, and I'm pretty pleased with how this is sounding. So let's listen back here. Alright, so one thing I'm gonna do here is turn down that sound. I like it. It's just I mean, I want maybe the piano to have a little bit more emphasis in that. So like this. I'm gonna turn this up a little bit. Actually, instead of turning the volume up, let's do a cut, and then let's boost some of that high. Alright, let's hear how it sounds. Change the velocity on this note, and then I'm going to turn up the velocity on these parts. And maybe I'll add that note. I don't know what it... Let me see if I can replicate what I did on accident. I like the way that sounded. I don't know what I did, so let's forget that idea. Sound. That's cool. I think that's an Ableton sound. Yeah. It's very present. It's very like in your ears, but kind of because the high frequencies are cut out, it's kind of, it doesn't like, it's not like in your face. So in this part again, we're going to turn that volume down. Now I don't know where it is. Oh, here it is. It's here. Where is that electric piano that I had? I need to copy this sound. that's how I'm gonna end. I'm gonna put little. I need to add an ending there. I don't know if that would be a good ending or not. Let's see. Let's see if I could change the sound up a little bit. It has a certain sound in there that I don't like. Maybe it's the echo. Maybe there's an echo on it. Maybe I'll automate this this EQ like this. And then let me drag this on its own. I'm gonna turn this up. And then also another thing I'm going to do here is put a utility tool on the pre-master group. I really like those sounds that I used in that. It just sounds, the sounds in this beat sound really full, and they fill up the spectrum and like the left and right too, you know. I hear like that square wave sound. It's kind of like clicking. I hear like a little click. Let's put a EQ here. Let's have this come on like right here. I don't think that's noticeable. I can't hear it now. Alright, so the pre-master, let's go back here. Huncho Jack, you said, have you ever had a feeling when you didn't want to show some details or tricks in your production? I think my perspective has really changed on that after listening to Gary V. If you know who Gary Vaynerchuk is, he would be a great person to follow on social media. He is a businessman. He teaches you I guess a lot about mindset, business mindset, and how to attack your goals, you know, in the, like I guess he gives you a lot of wisdom on how to go about using social media to grow your business. I guess that's the best way to put it. But he says that he gives away all his best tricks in the book because he knows that most people are not even going to do anything with it. And that's not, like, I guess that's kind of an interesting thought. Like, I guess I don't really think that way, but going along with what he says, like, even if I give away most of my tips, you know, most people aren't really going to do anything with it anyway. But at the same time, like, I don't really care because my music, the way like my ideas, what comes from within me is what makes me unique. And I would argue that maybe it's not the techniques I use. Like if you show somebody a certain technique that you came up with, you have an infinite source of those techniques, unless somebody else showed you, you know. But I guess I'm thinking from like a creativity standpoint. Like if like you have, it's like if you teach a man to fish, you know, like that saying, then instead of just giving him a fish, like you can learn from people, but if you don't have ideas coming from within you, you're not going to be able to capitalize on that. So that I'm not really scared to give away my tips. Like I'm glad to help people. I don't think that I'm scared of somebody copying me, because like I can always just do something different, you know. I don't know if that made sense or not, but I guess I probably should have just answered your question more simply, like in that I'm not really scared to show people the details of my production. I like that ending. That's cool. Well, I'm glad it helped, because I felt like I was talking in circles. I knew what I wanted to say, I just didn't know how to say it. Alright, this sounds pretty good to me, so I'm gonna go ahead and bounce this out, and I'm gonna go grab my daughter while this is bouncing. I'm gonna go ahead, let's see where I'm gonna put this. Here it is. And then all of these songs I'm going to go back and listen to in my car when I get a chance. And then see if I need to change anything. Huncho Jack, you said I didn't catch that guy's name. What? I'll show it to you here. I'll just show you his Instagram page so you know what to look for. The baby? Let's see. Gary. It's this guy here. This is his Instagram. Gary V. Yeah, he just really gives you a lot of good insight. So I've got this song bounced out now. I'm gonna take a look here at some of the baby. You see the baby? Let me hear this one. Here, let's put you down. Let me see. Actually, I don't think y'all can hear this coming out of my computer. Let me drag it into Ableton. Let's go ahead and save it here. S3AX, what's up, man? You caught the end of the stream here. I'm almost done wrapping this up, but I'm not quite done yet. I'll wait until my daughter starts acting bad and either moves my camera or starts getting into something she's not supposed to. Oh, it looks like I didn't bounce this right. I need to go back and bounce that. So Huncho Jack, you've seen that guy before? He's really good. Gary V. Really big inspiration for me. Let's listen to some of these other ones I did last night. This was the live stream beat right here. S3AX, he said, working on my EP right now, but popped in to say what's up. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. What kind of music are you working on? What kind of an EP is it? Here, let me play this song real quick. This was a beat I made on live stream. Want some more? S3AX, he said electronic / techno. That's cool, man. So this was another beat I mixed yesterday. It's like trap. So that's one I did yesterday. Let's see, this one too. Oops, paused it on accident. Huncho Jack, you said, do you like those new trap beats like Metro Boomin, Southside Pyrex, Whippa? Yeah, man, I like some of them. I think my favorite out of all of them is probably Southside. He has a really cool vibe to some of his beats. The only thing I don't like about new hip hop is sometimes the beats just sound really like the melody, like there's no melody. It's just like, I don't know. It's just really boring. Like the melody is really boring. That's the thing I don't like about some of the new hip hop stuff. But there is some stuff that I do like. And like I said, Southside is probably my favorite out of all the new, like the new beat guys, you know. Yeah? Let me play another one here. So I think this one has vocals in it. It's like a hip-hop vocals, but like an EDM kind of vibe. EDM hip-hop trap vibe.
You don't grind, you don't shine. If you ain't got yours, best believe I got mine. I done lost my mind with a life full of crime, but I'm back on it, so you know it's going down.
Yeah, thank you, Huncho Jack. So this is actually, this was the original version of the song that I put out called Endurance. If you haven't heard that song, I don't know if you have or not, but I put it out a while back. It's called Endurance. It's this one right here. If you go to my website, brysonprice.com/music, you could hear it there. But what I just showed you, that was like the original version. But I took it and I made it into Endurance, which I feel like Endurance is better than this version. But this has a cool vibe to it also. Let's see. I'm gonna play one more song and then I'll go ahead and sign off. I think I'll play this one was. So let me play. I'm gonna end it on like one that I thought. You want it? Here you go. I thought this is really different from what I usually make. I called it Mysterious Hip Hop. It's kind of corny a little bit, I feel like, but it has just a different vibe than what I usually make. So I just thought it was interesting. Yeah, it's super basic, and a lot of those sounds, I did a live stream months ago, like 2 or 3 months ago, where I was going through the FM8 sounds in native instruments. I was going through those FM8 sounds, and a lot of these sounds in there came from that, and I really like that laser sound. Yeah, but I think all the instruments and that laser sound came out of FM8, but I just basically made a beat around it. There's not even any sub bass in it, which is kind of interesting, but it was like an unfinished idea, but I was like, why don't I just, loop it and then make it into a submission, so. Water? Alright, y'all. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off, but I will most likely be back at this tomorrow. Baby, you're gonna have to sit down for a second. Here, stay right there, okay? I have one of my friends, Jacob Castro. He's been on some of my songs. He recorded some vocals at a friend's house not too long ago, and he was asking me if there's anything I could do to clean up those vocals that he recorded, because he thinks they don't sound good. So if he can send those to me tonight, which somebody is sending those to me for him, somebody else has the files, so if I can get those files tonight, I'll do my live stream tomorrow cleaning up his vocals. They were recorded kind of roughly. Like, I don't think that they have a microphone booth or anything. They don't have a pop filter. The microphone's not great. So hopefully he can send those to me, and then I'll do I'll include that in my live stream, like working on those vocals a little bit. So yeah, that's gonna be it for today. I'll most likely be back on tomorrow. I'm not gonna guarantee it though, but I'll probably be live streaming again tomorrow. So if I don't live stream tomorrow, it'll be probably Monday before I do the next one, but I should be live streaming tomorrow. So thank y'all to everybody who tuned in and commented, and I hope y'all have a good day, and I will see y'all next time.